Okay, hello, and welcome to the session for projects and the ethical forms that need to be done for all projects at GSM now. And so let's begin. I will be going through the checklist in just a moment, and it is important that you realize that it must be submitted with your project report or dissertation. Otherwise, the document will not be accepted, and you would have to do a reset, which would mean a maximum of 40%. You may need to have a participant consent form. We'll talk about that, which then may have to go through the ethics panel for approval. Don't forget, I've got the download for the ethics documents available. If you look on the link that is in the text box, you can see that we have that link right there for you. And also, a reminder that next week we'd like to review samples. So, the ethics checklist. This is very important that you understand that this is put into the appendix of the document and that you have it submitted, completed, and all the ticks are there. Let's have a look at what the actual document looks like that you can download from the Google Docs. So, for example, here you can see that we have 6 questions. In any of the questions that you are collecting primary data, that might be a survey, it might be a questionnaire, it might be an interview with an individual or a focus group. If you say yes to any of these questions, then that means that you will need to do extra forms. There will be extra consent forms that need to be done. The second part of the ethical checklist shows questions 7 through 10, and as you can see, it says if you have answered yes to any of these questions, you must submit further details of your proposal. So please make sure that this document is either scanned or is photographed and then inserted into the appendix of your final dissertation, your final project report. It is critical that this document is present. Now, notice here we're saying that if you have any of the tick boxes done, then there are 2 forms that will need to be done along with it. It's participation consent and the ethical approval. So in this case, you see here a participant consent form. Now, there was a good question in the live tutorial. What if it's just students at GSM doing the survey? Yes, even students in your class or in the school will need to sign this and tick it off. The main questions are on the top, that they confirm that they understand the project, that they understand that it's voluntary to participate, and that they agree. If you're not doing any type of audio recording or any video recording, then you don't need to worry about 4 and 5. And it is valuable to let them be aware that if you are going to be doing any direct quotes, then you won't be including their name. So that would apply, for example, if you had a survey and then followed by an open-ended, why would you do that type of question, and you were to take the text directly out of that to quote them. Going into the last part then is the ethics approval. So if on the checklist there are any yeses, The supervisor, myself, would need to see what's being done. So if there is, for example, a questionnaire that's going to be done in the business, the company, we must see the sample of the questionnaire beforehand so that we are clear about the nature of the questions and how you're collecting the data and that it stays anonymous. It should be straightforward to have your documents put to the ethics panel, but in some cases you may need to adjust a question if needed. Right, well, that's it for this week. Next week, we're looking to get the study partners working together. Please make sure you check each other's sample work. For example, reading each other's literature review is a great way to make sure that you've got references correct. You should be sending samples of the chapters. Don't wait until the entire report is finished. Please do send sample chapters as soon as possible. And it would be great if you could put in the Google Docs area samples of your references and also update your progress so we know how you're doing. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye now.